Fantasy football wide receivers by tiers. We have 5 tiers, aka categories, for today's video. The best, which are the elite wide receiver ones. You take these guys in the first, maybe high second round. Great options where they're not the best of the best, but you still can get great value out of them. Underrated or breakout season. These guys are either not getting the hype they deserve or have a breakout season coming. Wide receiver 2, where these guys shouldn't be the number 1 option on your team, but would be a really good wide receiver 2. Bench wide receiver, pretty self-explanatory. Do not start these guys, but have them on the roster just in case. And then cut. If you have these guys on the roster, then your team is not looking too great. You guys enjoyed this video a lot from last year, so we're bringing it back. Let me know if you want me to do it for running backs. So we're just going to go through these receivers, starting with the Panthers' number 1 guy, Tetairoa McMillan. He is going to be wide receiver 2. He's not a wide receiver 1. Well, he is, but fantasy terms I'm talking about. He's not like a top 12 guy, 10 guy where he should be your wide receiver 1 in a league. But as a wide receiver 2, he's going to get volume. He's going to get a big touchdown number just because he's the lob threat. He's going to get a lot of yards. He's just going to be that guy for Bryce Young that Bryce Young has been missing. So Tet should have I'd say top 25, top 20 receiver season. Not top 15, but close to that area. Now we have Khalil Shakir. I think he is also a wide receiver 2. He's a weird one because he's not like putting up great numbers, but he's the number 1 receiver on an elite team with an elite quarterback. So you have to feature that in, or factor that in, I'll say. And he's a wide receiver 2. I think he's more of a low-end wide receiver 2 than like a top-tier wide receiver 2 for your team. But he's a very solid option. We're going to go to Stefon Diggs. I think Stefon Diggs is underrated. He's obviously not a breakout because he's past his prime, but still, number 1 receiver on this Patriots team that has some talent now. Drake May is a good passer. He can get Stefon Diggs the ball. It's not like Anthony Richardson where, he's not even able to get you the ball. But Drake May, good QB situation for Diggs. As long as he doesn't stay injured like he was last year, that was unfortunate. But if he can stay healthy, I think he's going to be underrated. I don't think he's a wide receiver 1 for you anymore. Maybe a good wide receiver 2 or a flex. I would put him at the flex instead of wide receiver 2. But Stefon Diggs is underrated right now. Tyreek Hill, he still is a great option. I don't know if he's at that top 5 or, top 5 pick, I'll say. I don't think he's there anymore like he was a few years ago. But Tyreek Hill can still give you 1,200 plus yards, 10 plus touchdowns, big plays all over the field. I still think he's a great wide receiver 1 to have, but he's not going to be the best of the best. He's not in that group of 4 or 5 guys that are in the best of the best. Speaking of, I'm going to fill half of that category out now. We're going to put Ja'Marr Chase into best of the best. We're going to put CeeDee Lamb into the best of the best. And Justin Jefferson. These 3 guys, if their quarterbacks are healthy, are all guaranteed to go for 1,500 plus yards, 10 plus touchdowns. Ja'Marr Chase, obviously, Triple Crown guy from last year. You can't really deny that. CeeDee Lamb was missing a healthy Dak Prescott for most of the season. We factor in the season before where he was top 3 in the league in receiving yards, getting 60 plus plays constantly. He's going to be consistent because every year before last season, he was getting better, getting more yards, getting more touchdowns, and that is a fact. Justin Jefferson, the final guy for now in best of the best. I'm going to add a few more later. But Justin Jefferson, the best overall receiver in the NFL. Not the best fantasy receiver. I think he's like number 2, number 3. I have Ja'Marr Chase at 1. But Jefferson, going to get you that 1,500 plus yards. He's going to get you that 10 plus touchdowns. He's the most consistent guy, and he's the guy that, out of everyone, who would I pick to get me 1,000 yards? Jefferson would be the guy. But let's spend some time on the cut wide receiver category. These guys, if you are rostering them, you really shouldn't. Some of these should go without say, but I think Jahan Dotson is an easy cut. Just really didn't get thrown the ball at all with the Philadelphia Eagles. He had that nice play in the Super Bowl, but really didn't do much else for the whole season. I think Tim Patrick is a cut, just a veteran wide receiver 3 that is not really going to do anything on the Lions. The Lions' offensive players are set. And do I have anyone else I want to talk about right now in this tier? No. These are the 2 guys just for now that I'm going to leave in the cut. Let's go to some more great options. We have Brian Thomas Jr., we have Nico Collins, and the other guy, Mike Evans. All of these guys are great options in their own way. Very different ways, but in their own way. Nico Collins has a good quarterback in CJ Stroud, is the alpha wide receiver 1, where just he gets all the volume, all the targets, and that's his role. Mike Evans, veteran. I don't know how much longer he's going to be able to consistently put up great numbers, but for what we know right now, he is a top 10 wide receiver in the NFL. You no doubt would be okay with him as your number 1 receiver in fantasy. And then finally, Brian Thomas Jr., young, fun receiver on the Jacksonville Jaguars, saved a lot of teams' fantasy last year, including my own. He's only going to get better. He's entering his prime right now. Trevor Lawrence is better than Mac Jones, whether you like to admit it or not. Travis Hunter is going to give him some more separation. And Brian Thomas is going to be a top 10 receiver for sure. I'm just going to put Malik Nabers up there with Brian Thomas as well. These two really go hand in hand. It's kind of the same thing, like I said, for Brian Thomas, for Malik. Better QB situation than last year, and he's getting into his prime right now. So that goes without saying. A few more underrated or breakout guys. I have Rome Odunze as a breakout. As a Bears fan, I watched a lot of Rome Odunze film last year. He was great. He just didn't get the ball a ton. Shane Waldron was a dysfunctional offensive coordinator, but now Ben Johnson, who was raving about Rome, is going to get him more better routes. He's going to get him more open, and Caleb is going to hit those throws. I believe it. Rome Odunze is my bookend that is just not talked about enough right now. Marvin Harrison Jr., breakout season. I mean, come on. The talent is there. The traits are there. The flashes last year were there. It was the Trey McBride unlocking season, so he had to take a back seat. But I still think that Marvin Harrison Jr. has the potential to be the best receiver from that elite 2024 class. And so there's no doubt in my mind that he can have a breakout season. We just need Kyler Murray to be consistent the whole year. That's it. Just be consistent, Kyler, and Marvin Harrison is going to get it done. DeAndre Hopkins is a bench receiver. He just is. He's past his prime. I don't think it's a bad idea to roster him like at the bottom of the bench, and maybe, if you need some help at the receiver during a strong bye week, DeAndre Hopkins can come in and give you the volume that you need. But overall, he's just not what he used to be. T. Higgins is a wide receiver too, in real life and in fantasy football. I think he's a top 20 fantasy receiver, no doubt. But at the same time, with Jamar Chase being there, it only gives T. Higgins so many opportunities to get the ball. Now, because Joe Burrow throws for 5,000 yards every year and is like the best quarterback in the league, he's going to get the ball enough to be a strong wide receiver too. He's just not a wide receiver 1, and that's okay. I think Rashee Rice is pretty underrated. Same thing with Zay Flowers. Both of these guys are just really good receivers that no one talks about. Rashee Rice gets more publicity because he is a Kansas City Chief. But if he didn't get hurt last year, he was on pace for a great season, a top 5 wide receiver season for the 2024-2025 season. I think he was ranked number 4 in fantasy before he got hurt. And then Zay Flowers didn't have the greatest year last year. No reason why he can't break out and be in that elite receiver discussion. Let's get to some more bench wide receiver 2 cut area. We talked a lot about just great guys that we all know that are great. So let's get to DK Metcalf as a wide receiver 2. I think Courtland Sutton is a wide receiver 2. And I've been pretty known for not liking Rashad Bateman. I have him as a bench receiver. I don't hate Rashad Bateman. I just think he's a bench receiver on a fantasy football team. Maybe you can flex him in once in a while. I had him as a pure cut / trade last year. He's better in my eyes now, but still not great. And then DK Metcalf, Courtland Sutton, 2 consistent guys that will likely get 1,000 yards, are going to be good wide receiver 2s, especially Courtland Sutton. He's a touchdown machine. Don't sleep on Courtland Sutton because he is really good. Some more cuts. I mean, if you're rostering Allen Lazard, you're going to lose your league, respectfully. I don't know why anyone would ever have him on the team. Wan'Dale Robinson, I'm going to say bench. I don't think he's a flat-out cut. He's not that bad. It's just he's not going to be good enough ever to, be a starting wide receiver on fantasy. I know Russell Wilson really likes him, so if Russ is the QB1, maybe it's different. But we just have not seen any reason to have Wan'Dale Robinson as a starting receiver in fantasy football. Okay, we were negative for a few turns there. Let's get to some more positive outlooks. I don't want to talk about Terry McLaurin because of the contract situation. Once he signs, and you never know, he might sign while I'm making this. But once he signs, then he's for sure in this range from great to the best. I just don't know yet, so I'm going to leave him there. I'm going to put Puka Nacua in great. I'm also going to put Amon-Ra at the best. I think Amon-Ra is a top 5 fantasy receiver. The question is Jared Goff going to repeat what he did last year? I think he will. Maybe a few less touchdowns, a couple hundred less yards, but still, I think he can be a top 10 quarterback in the league. And Amon-Ra should pretty simply get his 1,300 yards, his 8+ touchdowns, and he's a consistent receiver. There's no doubt. I think a few underrated guys. I could go with a lot of different guys that's just being a bit underrated. One guy that I really am not seeing people talk about more is Davante Adams. Davante Adams had a really good year last year with the Raiders and then the Jets. It's just his teams were so bad that no one was talking about him. Now he goes to a Super Bowl contending team as the wide receiver 1B. I think him and Puka are 1A, 1B. Kind of similar to, I don't know what another good comparison is for it, because it's obvious T. Higgins is the wide receiver 2. Jalen Waddle is a wide receiver 2. Just another example of thinking 2 wide receiver 1s. Not one wide receiver 1, one good wide receiver 2. They're both wide receiver 1s. Davante Adams, I feel like he's going to get 1,200+ yards, 7+ touchdowns, and he is going to be a very viable option in fantasy football this year. Let's talk about, let's say 5 more receivers. Let's see, who do I want to talk about? Jerry Jeudy. Jerry Jeudy is a wide receiver 2. He actually had really good stats last year. A bit inflated because that game with Jameis Winston, he had 200 receiving yards. That's going to boost you up a ton. That game was insane, by the way. But still, I think he's going to be a wide receiver 2. Top 25 guy, maybe top 20, because he's the undisputed number 1 receiver on the Cleveland Browns. Whether it be Shador, Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, Dylan Gabriel, any of those guys, I think Jerry Jeudy is going to be their top target, him and Njoku. So Jerry Jeudy can get some really good production, maybe even 90+ receptions. That could be great. Okay. Jameson Williams is interesting. I don't want to say he's like a wide receiver one yet, because Amon-Ra is. But I think this is going to be his pure breakout season. He was on the up and up last year, got better as the games went on, was suspended to start the season, but really bounced back strong, way better than I thought he would. So shout out to JMO. But I think he's only going to continue to get higher usage. Let's keep in mind, he was a first round pick that could have been even higher in the first, if not for an injury at Alabama. And Amon-Ra was a fourth or fifth round pick, one of those two rounds. So Jameson has the talent to be the flat out wide receiver one. That's not what he's supposed to be, but he could be that if he really wanted to. And so I'm going to put him in the breakout season, give him 1,100 plus yards, maybe even 10 plus touchdowns, because he has that speed ability to outrun defenders. So breakout season for sure. A few more guys. I think I have 3 more slots. Let's say Darnell Mooney is a bench receiver. He's very solid. He's going to get you 700 to 800 plus yards, a couple of touchdowns. He's not a cut. You need to have him on your team. Well, you don't need to, but if you have an option in like a later round to pick him up, he's a really good wide receiver too for the Falcons. And so definitely have him on your bench. Another guy that might be on the IR for the entire season, but if he's able to come back, should be on your bench for sure, is Tank Dell. Really talented receiver. He might be hurt for the entire season. So if he is, then just take back everything I say. But if he's able to come back, which I don't know if he will, if he can come back, he is a really good wide receiver too, next to Nico Collins. Puts up great numbers, gets the touchdown looks for CJ Stroud, and it's just a really good receiver. There's not much else to say about him. It's just the injury luck has been really bad for him so far in his career. If he can stay healthy for a season, he's obviously not going to be there for most of this season, but if you can get him back like towards, the playoffs, towards the championship week, then he could be a league winner. I just don't know if he'll be back by then. It's really hard to tell. And finally, one more cut receiver. I have a lot of beef with this guy because I used to be a big supporter, and he's just failed me. It's Christian Watson. I mean, maybe he'll have a good game or two this season. I think he got hurt pretty bad in Week 18. I don't even know if he's playing next year. So prayers up to Christian Watson, but he's just kind of failed my expectations. I thought he'd be a lot better in the NFL. But anyways, guys, this is my tier list for a lot of NFL receivers. I know it was kind of like random, the guys I picked. I just wanted it to be a little bit of everything and not bore you guys with just, oh, he's a here. Just drag and drop. Like, I wanted to mix it up, just pick out random guys that maybe you weren't expecting. But I hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to drop a like, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. And finally, Brian Thomas Jr. He's young. He had a great season last year. Saved a lot of fantasy teams, including my own. No reason for me to believe that Brian Thomas cannot replicate what he did last year. So that's saying that there's no reason that he puts up even better yards, That didn't even make any sense. I'm sorry.